Hi, I'm Mike. Whilst we're all different people, we all have one thing in common. We're all adoptive parents. We want to share a few things that our families learned from our experience of adoption to help you to have the smoothest adoption journey possible. Adoption can be a daunting process, but with the right support and help, it doesn't have to be scary. When me and my wife Jenny were thinking about growing our family, we knew we wanted to adopt, but we didn't know anything about it or where to begin. So we started researching online. We found loads of helpful information on the adoption process, from the likes of First for Adoption and adoption agency websites, right the way through to personal blogs from parents who are actually going through the process or had already adopted. We saw an advert for an adoption event, and it was there we learned about the many different backgrounds of children who come to find themselves being adopted. This really helped us realise exactly what we could offer a child, or even siblings, and gave us a realistic glimpse into the kind of parents we could be. Finding out as much information right at the start of your journey is only going to help you further down the line. But whilst every child is different, pretty much all of them will push the boundaries at some point and have times when they need support. If you can prepare yourself for the common themes and concerns that many adoptive families experience, that's only going to help. Preparing yourself with information is one thing, but it's also important to take some time out to emotionally prepare yourself. After all, you're bringing another person into your family. It's going to be an interesting journey, full of self-discovery, but it's also going to be emotional and at times may feel overwhelming. Particularly the matching process, which can be one of the most challenging stages of adoption. The children need a family so much, yet it feels like it's never quite us. It's a sensitive situation, so be patient and have faith in your social worker. By this point, they will know you inside out. We think it can also be really helpful to learn a little bit about attachment theory during the process, but this doesn't mean you need a psychology degree to successfully adopt. It can be as simple as speaking to other adoptive parents who have been through the same process and can share their personal experience about bonding with their child. Jane and her family attended a workshop put on by their adoption agency. Lucy and Sam did the e-learning module of First for Adoption, whereas Chris and Dan decided to let things develop naturally. After all, every child is unique, and these are just suggestions to help you if you happen to need them. Something we all learned was how important groups like ours are. Family and friends are really supportive, they nurture us and love us unconditionally, but it can be equally as important to connect with other adoptive families on your journey. Knowing someone who's been through the same situation can be really helpful, as well as comforting, especially if you happen to be facing parenting challenges. We all have a lot of people to thank, but if it wasn't for our social workers, then we wouldn't be talking to you today. They are there to make the process run as smoothly as possible, but will also be there to support you throughout your journey, whenever you or your child needs them. And if it's not working for some reason, don't be afraid to talk to your agency. It is really important to have a social worker you feel comfortable in building a strong, lasting relationship with, so that you and your child can build a strong and trusting bond. So don't expect them to disappear as soon as you've been paired with your child. You can't get rid of them that easily. If your child is experiencing problems at school, or if you're worried about when to talk to your child about their birth parents, your social worker will be there to support you. Never feel like you're alone in this adventure. But one thing's for sure, everybody is different and every child will settle indifferently to their new life. Most adopters will need some support at some point, and there will always be help available, even if it's just to have a cup of tea and a moan about those dreaded teenage mood swings. And all jokes aside, if more help is needed, speak to your adoption agency who can assist in accessing help from therapists or other specialists. Our advice is take it easy and don't rush. Don't put pressure on yourselves. We can't say it won't be challenging at times, and sometimes even daunting, but children know the difference when they are loved. If you take things slowly and let your relationship grow organically, you will be rewarded by having your own forever family. And that's what it's all about.